I made a quilt coat and y'all, she is so cute, but it almost never happened because I was terrified to even start making this coat. I'm not trying to scare you. I got over all of this and I figured it out, and it's totally something you can do. If you've been wanting to start a quilt coat and you haven't yet, you're going to want to watch this episode, okay? Hey, Star Stitchers. I'm Kristen here from Icy Stars Quilting. Today, I'm finally sharing the quilt coat that I made. The idea of turning a quilt into a wearable jacket may sound scary, okay, or overwhelming. And I absolutely feel you on that. I am not a garment sewist at all, but you may have noticed I am a very determined quilter. So I'm going to walk you through how I got over my fears and what pattern that I use to make this quilt coat, as well as tips so that you can make your own quilt coat journey fun, cozy, and totally a confidence boosting project. Also, if you're looking for support, sisterhood, and serious creative encouragement this year, I have the place for you. I found it. It's amazing. I'm going to share a little bit more about that later on in today's video too. So let's start with the basics on this, okay? I know there are so many different quilt patterns out there. I chose the Elemental Quilt Coat pattern by Teresa Coates, and here is the reason why I went with this pattern. This pattern is written by a quilter for a quilter, and that alone, it just made me exhale, okay? Garment sewing patterns, they're totally different language. And if you are a garment sewer, I completely respect you. I love you. But it's not apples to apples, okay? I didn't end up feeling very comfortable when I was looking at the quilt coat patterns. I was overwhelmed before I even cut a single thing. But with this pattern, I felt like it understood me from the very beginning, okay? I felt like when I was reading it, I wasn't trying to decipher some cryptic fashion school exam. It felt approachable. It felt really friendly, and like someone had already translated everything for me. It reads like a quilt pattern. So, let's talk about like why it took me so long to make a quilt coat. And here is the absolute truth. I have so many pins saved on my Pinterest boards of quilt coats that I wanted to make, but I just couldn't get up the confidence to do it, okay? But because I have this running list of fears, I kept worrying, like, what if I mess up? What if I spend 10 hours piecing this beautiful quilt together only to hate it cut up? Like, what if I choose the wrong size, okay? Like, what if I don't even know what size I am? What if I don't enjoy wearing this coat after I put all of this effort into it? What if I decide to thrift a quilt and I ruin it and now it's irreplaceable and it's just trash? What if my seams don't match up and it just looks really sloppy? How do I position like the back of the quilt to be not wonky? Okay. Basically, I over-engineer everything. If there is a way to make a simple project stressful, I'm going to find it. Okay? Maybe you can like understand where I'm coming from. So I decided I'm going to make this as easy as humanly possible for myself. I took out every single mental roadblock that I could think of, and I just bulldozed right through it, okay? I'm just like, I made it not even a bump in the road, all right? Are you ready for this? This is the biggest thing that I can do to make this so much simpler on yourself, okay? I used whole cloth fabric, specifically a cheater fabric print. Do you see this? Do you see this fabric that I have right here? It looks super intricate, but I did not have to piece a single thing on this coat. This completely removed the pressure of choosing the perfect quilt pattern. I didn't have to worry about piecing alignment or cutting into hours of carefully pieced fabric, okay? There's nothing wrong with cheater fabric. Now, when I say cheater fabric, I mean the kind that looks like it was a carefully pieced quilt and you can just kind of like, I don't know, pretend to stitch in the ditch or whatever, and like it comes together really fast. Like it has its place and it's amazing. And there's some really pretty ones out there. I had a hard time choosing. I ended up with this one because it's like, it's rainbow, right? I love it. You know, the thought of like using a thrifted quilt, I love that too, because you take something that somebody didn't really want and you repurpose it. But that idea stressed me out as well, because I know it works for some people, but I couldn't bring myself to cut into it. Like, what if I ruined it? What if it unraveled halfway through? I really wanted full control of this project from the very, very start. So here's what I did. I bought 3 yards of outer fabric and 3 yards for the inner lining of my coat. Okay. Now, is that way more fabric than I needed? Yeah, way more fabric than I needed. But like, it removed all of the math and the pressure on myself. So I could lay everything out, like all the pieces, and I could shift things around, and I had wiggle room, okay? And I didn't have to worry about running short on fabric. I long-armed the quilt sandwich myself, which gave me that squishy, beautiful, like quilt feel without the piecing drama. I just had freedom to play and make this what I wanted it. So there was no huge beginning before we even began, right? So let's talk about like tools real quick. These are what made the process really smooth and things you need to think about ahead of time. A walking foot. If you're going to be sewing on your home machine, you're going to want a walking foot for quilting, okay? A jean needle is a must for not only for like quilting, I like it for quilting, but also for like thick seams when it does like the binding and, you know, around the outsides of the quilt. All right. You're going to need, of course, your rotary cutter and your cutting mat. Wonder clips instead of pins. I like the clips better. Okay. My go-to fabric scissors are these right here. You're gonna love them. You just like, they're super affordable. They're super sharp and they're really nice, good scissors. I also love these scissors right here that are a little bit more of an upgrade. They're a actual tailor scissors, and man, these scissors are heavy duty, and I have not tried them on anything but fabric, because obviously fabric scissors only use them on fabric, but I'm pretty sure they would cut through whatever you brought to them, like whatever you brought to them. They're amazing. There is links down in the description box to all of my favorite tools, including these scissors right here. You're also going to need pattern tracing paper. I didn't have this, okay? So I bought mine on Amazon and it was super affordable. Again, I'll link it down in the description box below. Just knowing that I had the right tools made this whole process way more enjoyable for me. Okay, moving forward in this, let's talk about the actual pattern. Teresa went way out on like, okay, we're going to make a quilt coat. How do you want your quilt coat to look? Do you want a collar or a hood? Pocket options? I said no pockets at first, but then I came back and I added my own hidden pocket on the inside of my jacket with my leftover scraps. It is the cutest little detail and it feels so personal to me. With this pattern, you also have the choice of lengths and it's totally customizable. You can also go long like I did, and then I didn't really like it long, so then I trimmed it up shorter after I was sewing it. The sizing of the coat is on the pattern. There are multiple sizes to choose from, and the size I would say is very forgiving. I did purposely size up a little bit larger than what I thought I would need because I was afraid of sewing all of this up and then not being able to get my coat off again. Okay? If you've never been in that situation before, God bless you. But I didn't want to do that, okay? I was a little worried that like I was going to do all this work and then I was not going to be able to wear it. So it turns out that the sizing is actually really, really true. And I kind of wish that I'd sized down a little bit, but you know what? It's okay, because now I know for the next coat that I make, and yes, there's gonna be a next one. Even if I live in Texas, I still want to be cute, and I still want more than one quilt coat to choose from when I go out. Another really big plus to this pattern is I love, love, love that there is a video tutorial on YouTube made by the pattern designer and Missouri Star Quilt Company. They walk through the steps of making this quilt coat together, and it makes everything feel so much more doable. Yes, you still need to buy the pattern because you still need the measurements and the pieces to trace around and everything, but you're not flying blind here, my friends, okay? There is step by step how to do it and how to make it a little bit more customizable as well. So if you have been watching people make quilt coats thinking, that's cool, but I could never. Or maybe you're thinking, that's cool, but I would really want to make it where I could do this and this and this, and I would like this to have like stripes on the side and like polka dots on one side. Like, let me lovingly interrupt that voice in your head. Again, lovingly being the key word here, okay? You absolutely can do this, and you don't have to make it hard. You don't have to make it complicated. Start with something simple. Use the cheater cloth or use whole cloth. Use a fabric that you really, really like. Skip the piecing in the beginning. Make it your own. Get one coat under your belt, and then you can go all crazy with the crazy piecing and like the wild, whatever, like my mind's going wild right now and I need to focus so I can talk to you about this quilt coat. But I tell you, once I let go of perfection, this project flew by, okay? It was so much fun and so easy to make. I even made a second quilt coat for a friend of mine because I had so much fun. And her quilt coat, I made it with the solid fabrics as well. I mean, not solid in color, but like just one big piece of fabric for the front, one big piece of fabric for the lining. Like, it was so much fun. You will be amazed at how empowering it is and how empowering it feels to wear your own creativity. Okay. I've already inspired several girls in my Stitch Sister inner circle when I showed them this quilt coat a few weeks back to make their own quilt coats, because again, it feels like an overwhelming project, but I broke it all down and told them like it really wasn't. And I cannot wait to see what fabrics they choose and how they choose to make their quilt coats. It's going to be amazing because those girls are so talented. So now that I've talked about like how much I love making it and things that I did to make it easier on myself, just to get it under my belt, just to work through it and just to know that I can finish it and then I can let myself go crazy on it. Let's talk next about what I think that I will probably do differently next time I make this coat, okay? Next time, I think I want to try a softer batting. Maybe like 100% cotton or bamboo to give it more of a drape in it and a little bit less boxiness around the shoulders. It's not that it's like thick or anything. If you live in a colder climate, I might suggest using wool, or you could use like 2 layers of cotton batting. But once I washed this and I really got that nice like crinkle to my quilt coat, I will wear this all the time. It's so comfy and I feel so cute in it. Yeah. I might try something that has a little bit more drape to it. This is an 80-20 that I used, by the way, for this quilt coat. It's an 80-20 batting, and which is 80% cotton, 20% polyester. And it has a little bit more form to it, but overall it still works amazing. All right. the other thing I might do is I'd size it to my, like, truer to my current size instead of going up in size just in case, like we talked about, right? Like if I wear this with like a sweatshirt under it, which in Texas, I'm probably not going to do that. But if I'm wearing something a little bit more bulky, this would be the coat that I would choose to go with. Right now, this one, it just feels like I can really like wrap up in it. It's more of like a lighter coat just to keep me warm, like you would just like a quilt, right? Next time I make this, I really want to play around with adding like, or somehow centering like an orphan block on the back panel for a fun little statement. Okay. I've seen before where people make them where like they, basically you kind of like applique a block on the back. So if you want to change it, you could, right? I'd like to kind of play with that, maybe like centering things a little bit more. I might want to play with the pockets. The pockets, I will say, were a little bit strange in this pattern. Not really strange. They're very easy pockets, but they are like a little bit further back on the quilt coat itself. One thing that I would never change, I will not change this, is the binding on this quilt. Y'all, this binding that goes around like all of the outer parts of the quilt coat, it's my favorite. Okay. It is my favorite ever. It is so me. It's black and white stripe, and it adds the perfect whimsical finishing touch to this quilt coat. The biggest lesson that I can tell you I took away from this project and why I'm so excited to share this with you is, please do not wait for the perfect moment, the perfect pattern, the perfect fabric, the perfect quilt. Okay. Just start. Start messy. Start scared. Just start. This coat has brought me so much joy, and I hope that it inspires you to make your own and in your own way. I don't want you to make this exact one, but you can, because like, let's be honest, she's really cute, right? She's really cute. I want you to make your own. And if you're thinking, this year, I want to surround myself with other quilters who totally get it, please come and feel free to join us inside the Stitch Sister Inner Circle. It is full of creativity, kindness, inspiration, and real connection with the real quilters. We share projects, we help each other out. You can get a free 14-day trial using the link that I have down below this video. You can visit stitchsisterinnercircle.com. It is truly the best place online for quilters who want more community, more support, and more fun. So whether you make your quilt coat next week, next year, you're not behind. You are growing, you're trying new things, you are showing up for your creativity, and that is everything, my friend. You deserve to feel proud of what you make, and you are so allowed and given the permission to make it easy on yourself. I hate that I waited so long to make it easy on myself, but I hope that you don't wait that long, all right? Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Hit the subscribe button and come join the Star Stitcher crew here on YouTube. I would love to cheer you on, all right? I have done a lot of talking today. I feel like I've gotten really like overexcited, and I probably talked way too fast. So let me say this real quick. I would love to hear from you. I want to know if you have ever made a wearable quilting attire, or is this quilt coat on your dream list? You know, how many years have you thought about making a quilt coat and didn't because you were just slightly scared? All right. I love you so much. I appreciate your support, and I love being on here with you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching my channel. Thank you for joining me, and I cannot wait to see all of the wonderful things that you are going to create in this world. You are amazing, and I love you so much. So until next time we sew something together again, My name is Kristen with IC Stars Quilting. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your week and sew something really, really pretty. Have a great week. Bye.